Blood elders would say water is the circle of life. It was used in a lot of their ceremonies. In fact, when they needed it to rain, they would pour water on one of their medicine pipe owners.
It makes things grow so that our people can eat, survive, they have good clean water. A lot of water was used for healing, like this water here. Our people used to come up just in the spring when the water was just melting, and they put their people with arthritis in the water. My father used to tell me that his grandfather, Natu Sina, told him, don't ever fool around with water. The reason you don't fool around with water is because it can't be contained, and there's spirits in the water that we don't know about. They had this deep respect for water because of its power.
The elders, all these people have a great wealth of information. They'd go out there and they'd figure out, okay, they'd tell you, there was a spring here at one time. This spring ran here. This river used to go this way. During the flood, it changed its course. What effect would that have on your system?
These students didn't just collect water samples from the reserve's rivers. They were also taught how to analyze the samples.
You're going to each grab a slide, and you put your slide on your rack. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to put on a little bit of, there should be some sterile water. Put a little bit of little drop on there. Just a very, very small drop on there. Okay? Now after that, you're going to make sure your Bunsen burner is set up. You're going to have it in here. They're a little challenging to put on. Oh, it's not that bad. If you do it right, it's never going to flare like that. Okay? Now when you get to this stage where you get the orange flame, you're going to turn this off. And we'll set up the Bunsen burners for you. I don't want you to get too into details into that. If we were doing this would be a 2-3 hour lab, and we don't have 2 or 3 hours to do this, okay? So you set it up like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your plate. In this case, they're going to staphylococcus. You flame your loop. Why do you want to do that? Sterilize. You're going into a plate of sterile bacteria. You don't want to contaminate the bacteria. If you just go in normal, you're going to contaminate that and you'll lose that plate. You'll have to make another one, or you have to redo your stuff. It was by no means a Mickey Mouse course. This really was an aggressive course. We trained them on everything. We had a specialist come in from all over. They came in and they showed them exactly how to do proper sampling, how to look at your site, how to do your site. Then we also had Norm Newman from the provincial lab. He's the director of the microbial provincial lab up in Calgary and Edmonton, and he came in and he showed them how to do the general testing and what he was looking for, and his was mainly directed around Cryptosporidium and Giardia.
We're interested in parasites that might be present in the water, and the ones that we're looking for are Cryptosporidium and Giardia. These parasites are notorious in water, cause a number of issues in water. And understanding where they are, when they occur, and what kinds of parasites they are really important in developing risk assessment models and source protection models aimed at protecting water.
When you work in a lab, right, do you want to get the diseases you're working with? I would think not. If anyone worked here and got the diseases with them, I'd be pissed. Seriously, right? I don't really want to be on television, but that's okay. Anyway, so when we get samples, what we do is we work in these safety cabinets, and you can see my trusty staff will be wearing gloves.
We're looking to this as kind of a model study with information that might come out to help us design those plans in the future based on the information that we're getting now, and developing concrete source water protection plans that are science-based and information-based. And this is why this particular study is that exciting. It does that. It's exploratory, but the outcomes are immense, not just for the community here, but to apply those similar models across other First Nations communities as well.
Over time, the water sampling has been collected for a number of years on the Blood Tribe. This project is somewhat new, but over time there have been some startling results. We have, within the last decade, had a water treatment plant installed because of some of those results. Some of the elders were getting sick and not knowing why, and as a result of the water testing and then cleaning either their cisterns or their wells was implemented, but they otherwise would not have known had there not been any testing going on.
Cisterns can actually be very clean water as long as people take care of the cisterns and manage their cisterns effectively, which means cleaning the cisterns, ensuring that contamination, that they're decontaminated on a regular basis, that you don't get buildup of bacterial populations within there, that your cistern's always kept safe and integral, that there's no cracks in the cistern where leakage can occur in. So in fact, cisterns can be very safe routes of drinking water, equal to those of river water or deep water aquifers. A very important aspect of drinking water is we know how to make it safe. A lot of the issues associated with it become economical or political or social issues that can be addressed, and we know the solutions to those. It's a matter of people and creating that awareness of the impacts that those things can have so people can deal with it. It's communication. Really, that is the key.
People and our activities cause most harm in the water we depend on. Whether threats to water safety are man-made or natural, local or distant, we need to be watchful of the quality of the water in and around our communities. The first and most important action we can take is to try keep our water clean.
You got to realize that we're the stewards of the water, and it's up to us to maintain it and keep it good. One of the problems that you're seeing is I'm not going to say global warming effect, but there's an effect of a change in the temperature. So if the change in the temperature is actually starting to make it more and more arid in this community, so water is becoming more and more a precious commodity. So we got to make sure that we start to manage it properly, start to control the quality of it, and realize that the water is not for one group, it's for all of us.